Hello there. Welcome to another episode of PreWorkout Chat. Today is Monday, May 20th, 2024. I am your host, Rapsha Wright, and today I just wanted to go over a few things. I don't think this video will be that long. I'm actually running late. I didn't actually finish my last workout till like around 9 or 10 o'clock. So by the time that I ate dinner, showered, edited the video and uploaded it, it was like already kind of like after 12 o'clock. So I didn't really go to sleep until like 1 o'clock. And so I did not end up waking up until like around 6:30. So I'm running a bit late today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just record the pre-workout chat because there's still some stuff I have to do to get ready for work. I don't want to be late. I've actually been late for work for a little bit, and I know my boss doesn't really like that. So I need to do better. So yeah. I'm going to record the pre-workout chat, and then I'm going to go to work, and I'll just combine my workouts when I come back home. I'll just do one, rest a little bit, and then I'll do the other. And that's how we'll do that. Anyway, so there's three topics that I wanted to go over. The first topic is distraction/things holding you back. So over the weekend, I had to make a choice. I identified a problem, and the best solution to that problem was to get rid of it. What it was, dating apps. Over the weekend, I went ahead and deleted my dating apps, made my profiles inactive, did all the stuff that you normally do on these apps. Some of them I just had to completely delete, even though I still had like a subscription for. I think one of them I had a subscription for all the way to September. And so the only thing I could do with that account was just make it inactive. So I am off of the dating apps for now. Now, what brought me to the dating apps is just that's just how I'm used to meeting women. Is I'm used to meeting women online. I really go out and stuff like that. Being 34 and stuff like that. Most of my friends, most of my boys and stuff like that, they're like, older, they're older, they have families and stuff like that. And plus we're all like kind of scattered. So, I don't really have, the crew, backing me up. So, dating, in your 30s is not exactly like dating, when you're younger, like when you're 20s and stuff like that. So dating online, especially for my schedule and how busy I am, it works. And it's something that I've often relied on. Plus, with my social skills and stuff like that, it's just easier to date online for me. Even though I probably would, even though I might have better success rate if I, was going to the bars or something like that, or trying to put myself in areas where the women would be more active and I can code approach, which is something that I've haven't really done since. I mean, I've done it a few times when I was in my 20s, but when I was in high school, I probably did it more, and it just never worked out. But that's the story for another time. So, I was on the dating apps to try to, fulfill my need. And, one of the principles of insanity is to keep doing something over and over again, expecting different results. I've been big pretty much all of my adult life, and I never really had success like that on the dating apps. I probably closed on a total of like 4 people that I met online. And I've only ever closed on one person that I met in person. So obviously the dating apps, I've had more success rate versus in real life and stuff like that. Now there was probably a few opportunities that kind of hit my way. I just never went for those opportunities. Because one, I felt that there was one where I kind of felt it was creepy. The girl, in my opinion, was too young for me. Yeah, she was over 18, but I just couldn't do it. It just felt weird, and even though she was over 18, she looked young and stuff like that. And I'm an uncle. I have like nieces and nephews and stuff like that. So it was just creepy for me. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I'm not no hate on the guys who might be a little bit older and they're with like girls who are like 18 or something like that. It's just not my cup of tea. Maybe if she looked older or something like that, it would do it for me. But when you are, I'm more of a family oriented type of guy. So, and I have such love for my nieces and nephews and stuff like that, and some of them are actually, teenagers now and stuff like that. And they're basically about to go to high school. It's just, I can't do it. I can't do it. When you're like really family oriented like I am, it's just is what it is. This is just probably one of the things that, like if you look at them and they just look too young, you just go like, I just can't do it. So anyway, that was like, one of the things. There's a few opportunities that I had while in my workplace, but some of the guys that I've considered my mentors, they really push and emphasize that you should not have like relations with the people in your workplace. And that has actually served me very, very well, to the point where when the whole Me Too thing kind of started, it had absolutely no effect on me, because I absolutely keep my relationships within the office space very professional. Now, yeah, there was actually, a few times where, the women was very receptive. In fact, I felt like they were putting the moves on me. It's just that I had to just keep it professional. And most of the time, I don't even think that they were like, really that interested in me. They were probably more along the line of curious, curious about what I can do for them. Let's just keep it at that. Like to keep this channel PG-13. So that's why I'm on the apps. That's why I'm so reliant on the apps. And I do be taking breaks every now and then for the apps. I actually used to have like a friends with benefits when I was in my 20s, and that lasted all the way till like I was like, in my early 30s. Like it was basically on and off between the ages of 23 and like 31 or 32, something like that. But yeah, that's a whole different story. I don't really get into that, but that's typically what I was doing like most of the time, and that really that for the most part satisfied my needs. Was with that. So things were always pretty. It was okay. It wasn't the best in terms of stability and consistency, but it is what it is. And so ultimately, after, the friends with benefit thing ended and I was, relying on the apps more, I couldn't really find anything that was sustainable, anything that can last. I did try and stuff like that. And again, I, cause I'm big and stuff like that, and, women are not really attracted to me on that level. I really didn't have really much standards to anything. And I was very, let's say, forgiving of the female situation. And I often, really gave women chances and stuff like that. Um, so I didn't have any standards and stuff like that. Really just came down to their personality and how we interacted and stuff like that. Like, for example, if we're, texting and stuff like that, and she doesn't really respond to me for a few days, I just know that she's not really attracted to me and stuff like that, or she's not really interested. And so usually that'll be like a point where I kind of cut them off, or like I stop even considering them for any type of thing, anything. So that's typically how that works. But I do try to. It's more. It's I try to like have these relationships. I try to build them and stuff like that. So it's not as debaucherous as you would assume. But anyway, for most of the time that I've been using apps and stuff like that, it's always been primarily rejection. It's always been like 99.9999999% rejection. And actually, in recent times, the rejections have been like completely. I've been like dealing with more scammers and people who are very 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 rude. And so it's actually gotten worse compared to when I was 20s. Now in my 20s, I didn't really have that high. I didn't really have a high success rate. But now it's like, even though I have a higher success rate, it's like the experience is just absolute trash. And when I say higher success rate, I'm talking about, I may be able to close on maybe one person like a year or something like that. That's what I mean when I say success rate. It's not like, I'm meeting somebody or doing things with somebody like every week or every month or something like that. It's usually probably just like once a year. So the dating apps have become a source of negativity for me, because there's so many rude people on there that and I don't even know why they're rude. It's like simple communication like triggers them. And I don't know. And like I said, usually the ladies that I'm talking with are not exactly high caliber, if that makes any sense. They're not supermodels. They're not tens out of tens, even though they'll probably call themselves 10 out of 10. The ladies, I reach well within my limits, if to people who can understand that statement. So a lot of the ladies that I'm talking to are overweight and stuff like that. And so most of the time, these ladies actually have children or something like that. They're like single parents. They have something going on with them. So I don't want you thinking that, I'm hitting up like the best of the best of the best of the best. I am well within reality. Let's just say that. Anyway, a lot of these people are now rude because I guess when a person who is within their range, in terms of there's a social their sexual market score, I guess it kind of breaks their delusion and it creates this negative emotion within themselves, because often when you break somebody's delusion and you bring people back to reality, it's not a pleasant feeling. And given how emotional women are, it probably hurts them to a degree to be brought to reality, because they're probably thinking to themselves, They could get themselves a professional athlete, even though they have like two children. I mean, if you've ever seen any Kevin Samuels material, you've seen how the women were. They're in their 30s, they have kids, they're overweight, they're not really keeping up with themselves, and they probably had a history of drinking and doing drugs, which has played a part on their complexion, or maybe they're hitting the wall because of the age. And so they're not really all there, but they're kind of looking for these high value men. And they think that they qualify for those high value men. And when they see a guy like me, who they would dub a low value man, kind of speak to them, I guess it's like it hurts their egos or something like that, and it just brings them to reality, because they're not going to get those men that they're seeking. At least most of the time, unless the dude is like has like very low self esteem or something like that. Then they might be able to get with somebody like him. If he's like really one of those like kind of like simpy guys who's like a white knight or something like that, who's trying to save her from her issues. Like maybe he'll save her, and maybe he'll be like the type of one that go for those type of women. Regardless, they're rude. And they're rude on the apps, and for unnecessary reasons. And again, I would understand if you're going to be rude if I did something bad, right? Like if I sent you a picture of the D, you know what I'm saying? Like just unsolicited, just sent you that. I can understand if you're rude. If I, came at you in a negative way or something like that, or if I was using ad hominem attacks or something against you for some reason, if I'm just like, if I was being rude, I would understand that, but I don't do any of those things. So anyway, the apps, and then there's the rejection, right? Like I said, I don't really close like that, so the rejection can kind of play like a negative role on your emotional state. So yeah, I had to just delete these apps. They were also becoming like they were already a source of negativity because of the rejection, because of the rudeness. And like I said, who really likes being rejected and stuff on a consistent basis? I don't think a lot of women understand, especially because women do not really do the approaching. That rejection is painful. It's just that a lot of guys have gotten so used to the rejection that it's become numb and stuff like that. But if these women were getting rejected like that, they would be crying in their pillows and stuff like that, eating pints of ice cream and just completely becoming self-destructive towards themselves if they've actually even got just a little taste of the type of rejection that guys go through. So it's like one of the things where I like kind of like look at girls and I'm like, you should be happy about the intersexual dynamics between men and women, because if you were the one who was getting rejected like that, you would not feel too good about yourself. And that's just a normal human thing. Nobody wants to be rejected. So you have the negativity from rude comments. You have the negative emotions from being rejected and stuff like that, which can actually lead to something like you having low self-esteem, low confidence, even having self-hatred towards yourself. It was all bad. So I had to get rid of the dating apps. And that's one of the things that I'm going to suggest to people. And I'm going to suggest that you kind of step back, look at your life, and try to identify the distractions. Because if you're trying to do something amazing, like you're trying to lose the weight, you're trying to build a physique of greatness, you're trying to maybe learn a new skill or learn a new language and stuff like that, you're going to have to identify things that are going to hold you back. And for me, in this case, the distraction, the thing that was holding me back was the dating apps. Because there were times when I should have been working out, but the first thing that I did in the morning was, go through the apps and stuff like that. So instead of doing my routine of working out and making these videos and stuff like that, um, I was so focused on the dating apps and trying to get laid or trying to find a girlfriend and stuff like that, so that I wouldn't feel lonely and stuff like that. So I just had to get rid of the dating app. So I took a step back. I identified the activities that were stopping me from working out. I identified the stuff that was making me feel bad and stuff like that, and that was basically counterbalancing the positivity and good vibes that I got from working out. And so I had to make the executive decision to get rid of those things. Like, for example, again, I'm a very family oriented person. I really like keeping in contact with my siblings, but sometimes my siblings can be very, very negative. So one of the things I've done is I kind of I put a limit on that engagement that I have with my siblings, because I'm not trying to get dragged down into the negativity. And most of the time, their problems are the same problems that just happen over and over and over and over and over again. And I look at my siblings like they're insane, because they just keep on going. They just keep on going, and it's sad to watch, really. And I just really don't have the time to let them kind of like drag me down and stuff like that. So I limit my engagement with my siblings, which is very hard for me to do. So again, one of the things that you need to do, especially if you're just going to go down this path of weight loss, is you need to get rid of those distractions. You can't be doing everything at once. If you notice, when I was starting this program, when I was dieting and exercising and stuff like that, fasting, I was doing everything all at once, and I did everything right off the bat. And even though I was trying my best not to do that, it really just ended up becoming the reality of the situation. Things were just moving a little bit too fast, and I was doing everything at once. You can't do that in real life. You need to kind of identify your limits, and you just need to adapt and improve, and then you can do more at once. So the first topic: get rid of the distractions and the things that's holding you back. The second topic is setting yourself up to win. One of the things that I found that really worked was, most of the time everybody will tell you get rid of the junk food and stuff like that. You have to understand, like, that your diet and exercising, that's a whole new lifestyle. And if you're going to go down this path, you have to like kind of create a lifestyle that works for you. So one of the things that I do is I do like a replacement, right? There's stuff that I love. Like, I love sweets, right? I enjoy chocolate. So what I will do is, instead of having like candy and stuff around, I'll have something like a healthier option, like chocolate covered almonds and stuff like that. That will be my alternative. Also, stuff like that will help with the cravings and stuff like that. So if you like eating, let's say, fruity candy or something like that, have actual real fruit. If you enjoy eating chocolate, maybe instead of having like a chocolate that's filled with sugar, maybe consider a dark chocolate alternative, especially like something that you'll get like at places like Aldi's, where it's like a chocolate covered almond or something like that. That's something I would consider. If you really like eating ice cream, what you can do, and this is like a really good a healthy alternative, is you can instead consume smoothies. Especially when you add like ice and stuff to it, it will pretty much give you something similar to a milkshake. And those are like the things that I suggest. Like even a protein shake, right? Like with my protein shake, if I add like 2 scoops of the protein powder, it's going to create something really, really good. And just adding like an almond milk or soy milk to it, or even just regular dairy, you're pretty much almost recreating a milkshake at that point. And but it's just a healthier milkshake that's filled with protein. So those are some of the things that I would suggest. I would suggest that you look at your new food as alternatives to your old food. And that's just going to help you get rid of the junk food, right? So find the healthy alternative to those junk food. If you were eating stuff like Hot Pockets and stuff like that, maybe create a dish that kind of resembles a Hot Pocket, right? So it's just meat, cheese, and bread, right? Well, you could kind of think of, maybe beef on top of rice, and you can maybe add a little bit of cheese on top of that, and bada boom, bada bang, you can kind of think that you have an alternative. Maybe put like maybe put some tomatoes or a little bit of tomato sauce on top of that, and you pretty much have an alternative to the Hot Pocket. I know I know I just gave a bad example, but that's just something that you should consider is whatever you like eating now, create a healthy alternative to that, and that's what you eat. And that is going to be the ultimate solution to your junk food. And when you think of it like that, your brain is now going to associate, I'm associating my candy with the chocolate covered almonds. I'm associating milkshakes with the protein shake. I'm associating Hot Pockets with my tomato, beef, rice, and cheese. Like if you do that, that's going to set you up to win. Another thing is you need to have like a morning ritual. Today I woke up and I felt really good. I felt real focused, especially now that I got rid of those dating apps. Which, by the way, if you get rid of those distractions and stuff, that's also setting you up to win. You need to have like a morning ritual, something that's going to like kind of pump you with that positivity. Like I like watching like bodybuilding motivation videos and stuff like that, fitness motivation videos. I like watching that stuff. It really puts me in a more positive mood. And it makes it easier when you have a morning ritual. It makes it easier for you to get into a mindset that you are going to do something rather than think about something. So I like to first thing in the morning, brush my teeth, wake up, feed my cats, drink some water, and I like to play like motivational videos and stuff like that. Another thing that I like to do is, and this is going to be really good to set you up to win, is you need to visualize it, right? And one of the best ways that you can visualize it is if you have some type of dream board, right? And the dream board just basically has like the stuff that you wish to accomplish, and what it might look like if you were to accomplish those things. Like, for example, and this is something that I often like look at, is Kitty, come on, is I like to look at my goals, right? So if you've seen I showed this plenty of time before, but I have on this Excel sheet, I have what it is that I'm working towards, right? And if you like you didn't get fat overnight, you should have different pictures of yourself at different weight levels. If you were really really young and you got pretty big, like for example, even with me, I can't really go beyond 240 pounds because I was pretty big when I was younger, and even in high school, like this is me when I was in high school, like the lowest that I've ever weighed was like somewhere like around somewhere between 228 and 240. So I don't really have much pictures of myself as an adult that I can use to go all the way to 200 pounds. So what I did instead was I found pictures of guys, and I try to see somebody that looks as close to me, and which pretty much was impossible for me to find. And so I just try to try to have that as stuff that I'm working towards, right? Um, and so I create that, and that becomes my goal and stuff like that. So that's how I visualize myself when I get to like a certain weight range, like when I get to 200 pounds and stuff like that. I kind of see that this is what I'm going to look like. And if I stay on the track of lifting iron and trying to really build myself up, I try to like look at like people like the Mr. Olympias and stuff like that, and I try to visualize that this is what I'm going to like look like and stuff like that. So I have a visual of my goals. And so I know it seems I know it seems weird. I know you look at stuff like dream boards and you'll think that maybe that doesn't work, but it does. It does play a positive role when it comes to your mentality, right? Often when you're trying to accomplish something that's going to take a very long time, when you don't see the results that you want, like for example, you've been working out for 2 weeks, you kind of been doing your diet correctly for 2 weeks, and the scale is not showing you some numbers that you want to see. Like, oh, you want to lose like 10 pounds a week, and when the scale doesn't reflect you losing 10 pounds a week, and even when you get realistic with your weight loss, if you've been doing it for a month, you'll be going like, well, I still look big on camera and stuff like that. Well, that's because you are big, and it's going to take a while before you start like really shrinking and stuff like that. Um, so you need to have some type of visual, and that visual is going to serve as confirmation that your efforts are valid. And I think that's what the dream board helps to establish, is that it helps to establish that what you are doing is working towards what it is that you want. So that's why you should try to have some type of dream board. You should have something that you could pretty much look at and see um, pretty much every day. So you can have this, you can create a dream board of the stuff that you want to accomplish, and what it looks like, and you can have that in your room. You could put it in your car. You can even print it out and have it in your wallet. You just need to have something that you can look at, especially when you want to do something like break your diet and stuff like that. If you have like you're in your car and you're thinking about going to McDonald's and you're like almost in zombie mode, but then you look to your right and you see a dream board that you kind of have taped to your dashboard, guess what? That's going to help deter you from wanting to go to that McDonald's. So think about it. Think about creating some type of dream board that's going to help set you up to win. Another thing that you need to consider is your time management, which I am guilty of doing. I'm guilty of having poor time management. I try to do so many things, and I'm just not really good at keeping my time managed, and so that's why I end up coming to work late, and that's why, like, I have to create a more flexible plan that works for me, because sometimes I'm not going to be able to do that workout in the morning, and I'm just going to have to combine workouts in the afternoon. So, really getting a handle over your time is going to set you up to win. It's also going to allow you to easier get into a routine. When you're doing everything at the same time, pretty much every day, you're going to create a routine better. And the faster that you can get into the routine, the easier it will be for you to stay on the path that you're going down. So if you're trying to like lose weight and you're trying to work out, if you keep doing your workouts at the same time pretty much every day or every other day, however you do your workout routine, that's going to pretty much ensure that you stick to it, right? So let's say you were lifting weights every other day. I would suggest that you, during the same time that you would normally lift weights, on your off days, to maybe replace that with cardio. And what that's going to do is it's going to set you up into a routine where, let's say, every day you wake up at 6 o'clock to work out, right? And since you're doing it every day, it's going to become a natural routine. You're going to automatically be waking up and stuff like that. So just like sometimes you'll go into zombie mode and you'll crash your diet or whatever, or you'll do something that basically opposes your goals or whatever, you need to essentially create a routine, and that's what that's going to do, is that'll almost put you on autopilot. So the best way to counteract the zombie mode is with autopilot. So the autopilot is going to basically put you, is going to be positive, is going to put you on the course that you want to go to, while the zombie mode is just your will breaking down, and that's what's going to lead you to crash and self-hate and blah, blah, blah. So creating that, getting that routine is what is going to set you up to win. Now, having another thing that's going to set you up to win is having sources of positivity, which is, this is going to be kind of hard to create. That's why one of the things that I try to do is I try to like limit the negativity. By limiting the negativity, you're basically increasing your concentration of positivity. If you're trying to set yourself up to win, you need to have positive things in your life to keep you motivated, right? So a thing that you could have is like an accountability partner. Me making these videos, essentially, it's like I am having my audience be my accountability partner, and that's like a positive aspect, right? My videos getting comments and getting views and likes and stuff like that, those are like sources of positivity for me. Eventually, over time, your weight loss, your fitness routine, that's going to be a source of positivity for you as you start to see the results. Being in online groups where people are, where you're talking about everything that your accomplishment, and the people are complimenting you, and that's also going to be like sources of positivity. So positivity, that's going to set you up for that's going to help set you up to win. So yeah, that is pretty much it. We went over two really good topics, distractions and slash the things that are holding you back. And we talked about setting yourself up for success. And I've given examples of these things and what I'm doing. And so everything that I'm doing might not necessarily work for you. So this is where you put in the work. This is where you kind of look and you have to figure things out for yourself. If you keep this up and go over some of the things that I'm talking about, this is going to help you in multiple aspects of your life, whether this is career, whether this is something more personal that you're trying to achieve, whether this is health related. It all works in tandem with one another. So give it a try. If you want. After all, everything that I'm saying is what I'm doing and is what's working for me. And over time, you're going to kind of see that work for me. Like, for example, me getting rid of the dating apps. That right there reduced negativity in my life. It also, getting rid of those distractions, it made me more focused. Like when I woke up this morning, I went into my routine, my normal morning rituals, so to speak, and I went into them right away. I actually barely had this in my hand. Like I barely had the phone in my hand. I just did what I needed to do and I got straight into it. And so that's why I'm like making this video. And next I'm gonna like start getting ready for work and cooking breakfast and everything. And that's what I'm doing. And I just want to share this with you guys so that you guys can consider doing the same thing. But yeah, give it some thought. Try it out for yourself, and remember, stay on the path.